Hey guys, welcome to Reddit Brew. Today, I will be reading from the r/EntitledPeople subreddit, so let's jump into it. You never had your car. This past Sunday, I decided to take a track day at a regionally known drag strip during a no prep event. My partner and I took 2 pickup trucks with 2 car trailers with 3 cars in them. I brought my 96 Honda Civic hatchback, which, without going full car nerd, has an engine swap and a lot of work done. It's quite fast for a Honda, but really just a toy. I also brought my Nissan Laurel, which is imported from Japan and was never sold in the United States. The car is primarily a drift car, but with 30 minutes of work, it can be changed over to a drag setup. My buddy brought his 1996 Mitsubishi Eclipse GSX. We were running all day making small wagers with those at the track, and together we were up just over 20k. Around 8 p.m., with the track closing at 9 p.m., I had the douchiest of Chads approach me and engage in the typical smack talk about how my cars are slow and how incredible his car is, yada yada yada. After being goaded numerous times, declining a 10k race, and really just trying to pack up for the day, this dickhead decided to insult my wife in a rather derogatory and misogynistic way. The comments were both disgusting and about how a woman doesn't belong on a racetrack. I thought for a second before responding. Then I said to our entitled prick, since women don't belong on the racetrack, why don't you race her in the Laurel? 10k bro, that's easy money. Let's go. No. If you're racing her, it's going to be for titles, known in Hollywood as pink slips or just pinks. Hell yeah, I'll take your car. He starts laughing and further insulting my wife to his cronies. We shook hands, pulled out paperwork, and found a track official to hold both sets of paperwork before getting ready for the run. One single quarter-mile race for both cars. The tree turned green, and they blew off the line. Entitled prick pulled slightly ahead out of the gate, and you could just feel the misogynistic comments he was saying to himself as he flew down the track. About halfway down the track, my wife caught up to him and surpassed him, finishing the race with enough room to parallel park an F-250 between them. Wife pulls back into our stall, smiling and laughing, excited over her win, as it was only her 3rd pass on the track for the day. I went to the staff member to collect paperwork without problem, and then went over to EP's stall to collect our car. As we turned the corner into the stall, EP yells, "No, I'm not giving my car to a woman. She got lucky. 2 out of 3. Fuck this." All of EP's friends were laughing at him and making the her, you got beat by a girl jokes that were popular in middle school. I noticed the keys were still in the car, so I quickly reached into the car and snatched them. After grabbing the keys, I was sucker punched, and I did defend myself. I didn't engage in a full-on brawl, just merely defended myself after giving it one good swing. Track officials separated us, and EP started screaming to staff that I was trying to steal his car and saying he was going to call the police. You see, in my state, all bets are legal at the track, as it's no different than betting on a horse. Taxes are paid on the bet. In the event of a slip race, taxes are paid on the vehicle through the DMV. EP's threat of police held no power. EP continued to scream for another 15 minutes, not letting anyone else get a word in. Finally, the owner of the track came by and ordered EP off the property, or he would call the police for a trespass order. Owner also informed EP that he was banned from the track for the rest of the year. We returned to our stall with the keys in hand and waited for EP to leave. Having no choice, EP left without the car. This morning, I was served with a $100,000 lawsuit from EP. Turns out, EP had taken a $100K loan to build this race car car and still owes almost all of it. According to his suit, the loan was taken in July of last year. EP not only lost the race fair and square, which he knowingly bet his car on, but decided to litigate against me, not my wife. I can only assume this is due to EP's blind rage and misogyny. Before anyone asks, EP lost a 1996 Pontiac GTO with a specialty engine in it from Texas Speed and a whole lot of other engine upgrades. The engine alone retails for 45 grand. Checking the prices of a stock 69 GTO, they seem to be between 60 to 70k. So I'd assume this car is worth 75 to 80k. This D-bag is going to be a gigantic headache. I can already tell. Oh, I love this. OP's wife is a badass. I hate that misogynistic, self-righteous men, like the guy in this story, still exist. So, go OP's wife for essentially taking 100k from him. In the comments, OP states that they have already spoken to a lawyer, and their attorney has stated that everything is 100% legal. The vehicle has already transferred owners as well, so they're not worried about the lawsuit at all. They're just worried about being harassed by this power-tripping asshat for possibly months or even years over his own stupidity. Also, if you're wondering, this is the car that OP's wife won. Pretty badass if I do say so myself. As a woman, and as someone who lives in a province where toxic materialism and people with pretend money, aka loans up the wazoo so they can keep up with the Jones, is very common, I found this story especially satisfying. Can you please stop parking on my lawn? Liquid ass edition. I used to live in a small house on a small block with very narrow front lawns, with neighbors very close by. The family over the road had 2 parents and 5 boys from about 18 down to 7. They were loud, obnoxious, and their way was right. Always doing burnouts, revving their shit 4-cycle cars with straight pipes, etc. They had a dozen cats that would be out all night, pissing on everything, killing birds and other wildlife. I turned the hose on 2 cats I saw in my garden. The mom saw it and wasn't the least bit happy. I just waved at her. They would occasionally send the youngest over to try to talk to me about Jesus and would tell me I'm going to hell for my sins. Anyway, mom had a car, dad had a car, the 2 eldest had a car each, and there was a project car. Nowhere near enough space for these cars. So they would park 1 or 2 up the road at a park and walk down. One day, one son decided to park on my front lawn. No biggie, 1 or 2 days won't matter. I'm pretty accommodating. A few days later, it was still there. I saw the dad and said I needed the car moved. It was moved and I mowed the lawn. It was a very nice lawn, green, thick, and healthy. One of the better ones in my street. That afternoon, the car was back on my freshly mowed lawn. This isn't going to resolve itself. I saw them again the next day and said they can't keep parking on my lawn. They have their own space or keep parking up the street. You've only got 1 car. We have 5 cars. We need the space. Well, the park is a 1-minute walk away. Keep parking there. The car was parked back on my lawn again. I saw the dad, never saw the son, and said he needs to move the car. I'm doing some gardening and don't want to damage it, and don't want it in my way. It will be alright, he told me, like it will. So I got out bags of blood and bone fertilizer and threw out heaps of it. It stank. In the garden, on the lawns, got some on the car. Whatever, dad said it would be fine. It fucking stunk. Being a petty individual at times, this being one of them, I got a bottle of fart spray called liquid ass out of the house. I opened the lid and poured a little along the base of the windscreen, where the aircon intake is, then a little more. I had a chuckle and put the sprinklers on and went inside. About 30 minutes later, son gets in his car to go out. I hear him go, "Oh, what the fuck?" And he slammed his car door and drove off. The son never said anything anything to me, but the dad was pretty upset. He told me how much the car stank from whatever it was I did to my garden, and the son was pissed cause some girl he liked wouldn't get in the car with him. I just said, it's okay, it'll be alright. He stopped parking there after that. I mean, I would have just called a tow truck, but I like what OP did much better. I'd like to think that the bag of blood and bones was the remains of the previous person that parked on his lawn. But anyways, that is all for me today. I hope you enjoyed these 2 entitled people revenge stories. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I truly appreciate when you do, and I will see you in the next Reddit story. Bye!